Everyone, Artin here and welcome for a new video. So first of all, happy Thanksgiving to everyone. We are on the match number 5 that finished the day of Thanksgiving. So it has been a rough 2 days because I was preparing the lunch and dinner for my friends. I had a really good day with all my friends. There's been a lot of foods, a lot of drinks, so I still try to find the energy to record this video for you all. It has been kind of a fun match because we had my 2 accounts playing. I did spend all my attacks yesterday, so I don't have to spend it today because I had a pretty big and intense day to celebrate Thanksgiving with all my friends. So we are going to get to it. We are currently at match 5 of seasons 11. We are going to start with my second account first. So we are playing with the Lothtail OP. And we are currently matching the only friends. The match finished in 4 hours. I don't think we're going to win this one, and that's fine because that was our first match with my second account against an Overlord team. So the level is a little bit higher than Platinum 3, and that's really good that we kind of experimented that with the rest of the guild, so we can get ready to get kind of like the preparations required to be able to push to Overlord at the end of the seasons. So let's get into it. We still have 15 attack. I still don't think we can catch up these 8 persons remaining, but that was kind of a match. So what we're going to do on this part of the video, we're going to cover my attacks. So you will see I have 1 defeat and 4 wins on this account, and after we're going to get to the other account that is with the Dragonshire. We are, I think, playing the Awakened Chaos, so it's really a fun match as well, but you will see the result after. It was a pretty easy match. So let's get started. So the attack that I did was against Ofe Agir, so we can get to see him quickly. The attack was against, I think it was the team number 1 exactly. And that team, I was kind of interested to try my fire tank, and you'll see that most of my attack was with the fire tank because I don't have the fire tank on my first account, on my Megan account, so I wanted to play a little bit more with the fire tank on my second account to experiment the demons a little bit more and to like kind of understanding how it worked properly. You will see that my first attack was a fail, and not because I didn't practice, it's just because that this defense got a little bit luckier with the Yovar that they didn't got killed on the first attack, but you will see that. So let's get into that. So what I try to do is, because this defense don't have a healer, my assumption was that if I keep my fire attack alive enough, the Yovar and the Lady Alexandra will get killed, and then I will swarm the attack to be able to get that started. So the only issue there is that by practicing that on my defense, the Yovar was getting killed the first round. So the strat there was you get fire tank and healer, so you can get to a few rounds of burning. The Yovar should have get killed on the first wave, and the Lady Alexandra killed on the second wave, so I could have started to swarm. But the thing is that the Lady Alexandra didn't got killed on the second round, and after that you cannot do that much. You are going to get killed because you don't have any tank left, and she's going to go through your swarming demons really easily. So that was a pretty big fail, at least live. But yeah, what they did after that, they went with the captain, and it worked really well with the captain, the ice tank, and Grot. But yeah, I don't have the ice tank there. Now we are going to get into Doffel Path. So I think he was on stronghold number, no, I think it's maybe first 1 exactly. So we are getting against the team number 2. As you can see, I went there, so we are going to show you the different attack there. So this defense was interesting. Again, that was the perfect defense to use the fire tank, because as you can see, the airless is not covering Ingrid. So the assumption that I made was initial assumption because I practiced before attacking, but The assumptions to target this one was that Alice is not going to cover Ingrid that much, and she's going to get killed, and then when Ingrid is dead, it's way easier to be able to get through it. So what I did was playing with the fire tank. As you can see, my fire tank is level 4, and then going with my Grout, because the thing is that Ajax is not making that much damage against Grout, and Neja by himself will not kill that much. So as you can see here, the range of Ajax is not good enough to attack the full. So I went with one fire tank, a second fire tank, just in case that Ingrid was not getting killed with the first one. But as you saw, she got killed with the first round. And here you get 2 Grout getting against Brock here, sorry. And yeah, of course, he's going to get through it pretty easily. So you have 1 Grout going 8, you have the second one coming in, and after that you have only Ajax left. And to be honest, it's a pretty easy one because Ajax is not going to kill your doggies. So as soon as I got 5 energy, I went through that and got the win. So yeah, that was a pretty easy one on this one. Now we're going to go to Metal, I think he was Metal Mozart. I think that's one. Here we go. So as you can see, we did got a lot of lose. Unfortunately, this one was a pretty strong one. So again, showing you the defense first. So we get Valara, we get Lady Alexandra, we get Pop, we get Carnelian, we get Brock here. It's a pretty packed defense. So the assumptions to me was that I could kill Lady Alexandra with my fire tank, and hopefully also Valara. You will see that in live it didn't really happen to that. I got pretty lucky to finish the attack, but it worked pretty well at the end. So I went with, as you can see, the same setup than before, with the fire tank, the Grout, the doggies, full, and Abyss. And if I go to the attack, here we go. You will see that I use a really similar strat for this one. So you will get first with the full. So first you wait 3-4. So before I start, okay. So I did wait it for 3-4, 3 minutes and 4 seconds on the run to start to bring the full, even if I had the energy before. The thing there is that I wanted to wait, so the passive from Lady Alexandra charge. So as soon as I deploy my 2 first hero, my 2 first demons, Lady Alexandra is going to start to mark and to get burned from my demons, from my fire tank. So it's why I'm waiting until 3 and 4 to be able to let her recharge her passive and then starting to use it as soon as I deploy my demons. So as you can see, I deploy them. And she didn't got burned the first time. She got burned the second time, as you can see there. But she got also healed. So as you can see, she was getting healed and she didn't got killed. So I was like, that will be an interesting one. So I went with Abyss and Grout, hoping that Valara plus Lady Alexandra plus Pop will not put enough damage against my Grout. And as you can see, my Grout is still alive and is going pretty strong. I went with the second wave with the hope that it can get killed the Grout, the Brock here. And as you can see, it worked really well. The only issue there is that it did went through Valara. So I tried to bring my doggies a little bit delayed. So as you saw, I did 10 and 9. So I can delay my doggies a little bit, so if they get the pushback from Valara, maybe not all of them get targeted by this pushback. And with the hope that some of them can go through, and as you can see, it did went through. It was a really, really, really lucky run, but it did worked pretty well. So now we did Moda, we did Ogi, no, we didn't go Ogi, so we are going to go to Agi and to Morgan after that. So Agi is right there, and I think I have another one that's not that. That's the second team. And this one I did a pretty basic Grout attack with the archer, so we're going to see that. First, I'm going to show you the team. It was the team number 2. And the team number 2 is this one. So you have Cyrus, you have AI, you have Neja, you have Valara, and you have Airlissa. So this one is making damage, but not enough to like risk the growth. So I'm going to show you the attack. It did work for me because my growth is level 8 compared to the other team players. But this one I think can also work at level 7 of growth, to be honest, because you will see that I'm passing through Cyrus pretty easily. So you get the Archer, you get the Abyss, and you get the growth. The beauty with the Archer is that they don't cost that much. They cost only 3 energies. So you can get the Archer, you can get the Abyss, and the Grot really easily together. So the Grot can get fed easily. And there you do a second run. So you get the Archer, you get the Abyss, you get the Grot, and the Grot is going to go through that again. And here I got scared a little bit because I still have Valara up. So what I did is that I did bring my Fool to protect the Grot, so at least he can pass by. And then I went with my doggies, and as you can see, 5 of them were able to go through. So it worked pretty well. I could have used, instead of the doggies, I could have used the runners, like the one that are running really fast, because they are not impacted by ice. So it could have been a better strategy than using that, but yes, it's how it went. So last attack that I have for this second account will be against XY Morgan. I don't remember exactly where this player is. Probably, of course, on the last one. Nope. Where is? Not one. Here we go. So we are going to get against the attack number 1. So I'm going to show it to you. So this one was interesting. It was to use Araka. I don't use Araka that much on GVG. It's usually Yovar used as the Lord for the Archer, for the Marksman. So you see that you have Araka as the Lord, you have Lady Alexandra, you have Pop, Lily, and Brooke here. So on this one, I went with my Fire Tank again, and after I went with the normal Grot attack. So I'm going to show it to you. So the beauty there is that the Lady Alexandra is not covered by the healer. So as you can see, Lily is right there and she's not covering Lady Alexandra. So my hope was that my attack is going to kill Lady Alexandra. So as you can see, I did the same. I waited for 3 minutes and 4 seconds to launch my demons. So Lady Alexandra can start to target them as soon as I can, so they don't get that much damage from Araka and from Pop. And from there, as you can see, my Fire Tank is still alive. Like, he's still going strong. He killed Lady Alexandra. That was the main DPS. Like, Pop is also a really big DPS, but that should be fine. If the growth is protected by the Fool, that should work pretty easily. And as you can see, like, it just overwhelmed the defense. Like, my demons went through that, killed Araka. My Fool is protecting my growth. They don't have enough DPS, and my doggies just went through it. So as you can see, it was a pretty good defense. Like, the main thing that you have to take into account is that if you don't see any healer covering Lady Alexandra or any other champions, then that's probably a good candidate for using Fire Tanks, and on this one it worked pretty well. So that's it for my second account. So as you can see, it's a lose probably, but they did do a pretty good job, and I think it's a good exercise for us. So now we are going to switch to my main accounts, and this one I'm pretty excited about because we are against the Awakened Chaos. As you remember, I did say a few things about them on the last seasons, and I'm really excited to be against them today. And that's the match just before Mad. We're going to play against Mad tomorrow, and I'm really excited about that as well. But as you can see, this match was a pretty easy match, so that's good that they are not in the top 3, because they are not at the level of a top 3 if you ask my opinions. So the Dragonshire right now 27 attack left. We have 72 on .3% against the Awakened Chaos with 40 attack left, and they are currently at 41.8. And I can say that that was a really easy match against them. The only thing I can say is that they have really strong players. They are really good at strategizing, and they are coming with really nice attack against our defense. So playing against them is always a really good thing because they are kind of bulletproofing our defense, and they are really strong attackers. So again, I don't really like what you did last seasons, but GG to you all. You are really strong players, and I really enjoy playing against you when we are meeting. So GG, folks. I'm pretty happy as well. I got 9 wins and 2 defeats against my defense, and I'm not going to show it yet because Mad is going to discover that tomorrow. But yeah, that has been a pretty good defense for me. So let's go to Stronghold number 1, and we're going to go to Odin. And we're going to show his 2 defenses. The first one is really interesting because you have Moriden that I almost never saw in JVG. So that was really interesting. And the second one is this one with Lady Alexandra and Valara that we saw a few times already with the pop one. But that's still a good strategy to showcase. So on this one, you will see that it's a pretty basic swarm technique. And mostly because the DPS is not that big because you have Moriden right there, you have Adset right there, you have Count Dracula right there, you have Torodor, and you have Carnelian. And the thing is that they don't make that much DPS. They do put some DPS, but not that much. So the idea there is that if you start to overwhelm them, it should be totally fine because as soon as Atsu do one time her ultimate, she will like take time to recharge, and that's the only main that can like do AoE damage. So as soon as the ultimate is done, that is getting as soon as she have someone into her range, that's kind of it because you will have enough demons to go through and to get the win. So that was an interesting one. The second one, and I don't think I show it, so the first one is like Carnelian, Hatset, Moriden, Torodor, and Count Dracula. The second one is this one. So we are going to get through that, and Big Say we went with it. So this one is interesting as well, using the Mo technique and the swarming technique with the archer as well. So you see that this one is pretty good. You start with Mo. And the goal of Mo is to tank and to get into Brokir as fast as he can. And to trigger the ultimate from Valara. So you see that just before she finished her ultimate, the archer came and killed her really easily. When Valara is done, it's a pretty easy match because you have Pop and you have Lady Alexandra. But these 2 champions are not really great to take into account of swarming technique. So as you can see, the goal is to just bring as much unit as you can on Brokir, and the doggies are just going to go pass through and finish that because they don't have like Brokir, Pop, and Lady Alexandra will not be able to get out of this overwhelming of champions. So now we're going to go to Stronghold number 2, and we're going to go to our friends Squatch, I think. And we are going to go to the team number 1. And so this strat is pretty good. It's a really good defense. The only thing is that with Lily it doesn't work that well. With Erlis it worked a lot better. And that's kind of interesting because this player used Zelus, Ezareth, Velis, Malvira, and Lily. And I don't see that often Zelus, to be honest, into GVG, but that was a pretty smart attack. The only thing is that Lily doesn't really work really well. So what I did there is I did use a pretty basic growth strat, and I'm going to show it to you. It didn't work with against the same team, but with Erlis instead of Lily. But you'll see that I go with the full, then the archer, then the growth. The Fool is going to protect the Grot for a little bit, bring the Abyss. The only thing with Zelus is that he's going to do anti-healing. So the Grot is not going to get the heal that he needs when he's starting to heal. So that's the main interesting point of Zelus, I will say. And after that, as soon as Ezareth and the tank are dead, that's a pretty easy one because you need to time it perfectly with Zelus and Velis ultimate out. So you can get through really easily with your doggies and the last grot. So that was Squatch. Now we're going to go to Frost. And Frost, we're going to watch the team number 1. So this one is pretty interesting with Beelzebub, Valara, Pop, Brokir, and Elisa. And we're going to go with the attack from Alexandros using the rats. So the rats are new champions. It's not that new anymore, but still a new champions. And I don't have them on any of my accounts, to be honest. So we are going to start with the Fool and the rats. So the goal there is just to trigger the ultimate from everyone, to keep the Fool a little bit delayed, so it can be exactly where it needs to be for the Mo to attack. The goal is to keep Mo alive as long as you can, because as you remember on previous video, if you see a placement of an hero on the left side of Mo, when he's doing his ultimate, he's mostly going to kill the champions. And as you saw, it did work really well. And as soon as Valara is done, that's a perfect way of doing a swarming technique, because Valara is the only champions on this strat that's going to be able to kill big wave of enemies. And without Valara, it's a pretty easy technique to swarm in. So GG Alexandros for this strat. It worked really well. So we still have 4 attacks left that I would like to show you, folks. We're going to go to Milk Me. And we're going to go against the number 2. So this one is pretty interesting because you have Ezareth, Velis, Count Dracula, Erlis, and Brokir. The strategy there, at least I would imagine, is that Count Dracula is going to do the anti-healing, and Ezareth is eating like a tank, and Velis is going to stun. So normally this attack shouldn't work with the Grota, but on this one it did work pretty well. So I think just that the DPS from the Count Dracula and Ezareth were not good, and Velis as well. I think the Awakening are not strong enough to be able to do this strat. So we start with the Fool, like the epic Fool, because it's a little bit cheaper than the legendary Fool. I do launch one to trigger the ultimate of the enemies. Then I go with all the champions plus Grots to get fed. And as you can see, Grot just went through, he just killed 3 of them. And from there, that's a pretty easy win because you don't have enough DPS with Velis. Velis is pretty good. She can probably clean a wave of doggies, but 2 wave, no way. So it worked pretty well there. And now we're going to go to the keep with Laser that started with a different nickname. So as you can see on the attack, he was first Papi, and he went to Laser. So, so we're going to go against his team number 2, sorry. And his team number 2 was really interesting because as you can see, you have Valara, Lady Alexandra, Pop, Carnelian, and Torodor right there. So what's what our friends Maza did is a pretty fun strat. I'm going to show it to you. So Maza went with the ice tank, mostly to get the passive from Lady Alexandra, as you can see there, going with the second ice tank. They get all the hit. Then you go with the rare tank, because the rare tank then are going to take the double hit from the Lady Alexandra, and then they get overwhelmed by the 2 doggies, and that's a win. So yeah, JJ Mazda on this one. It was a pretty good attack. Only required 3 units. He just went with the flyer as well, just in case. But yeah, it worked pretty well. So now we're going to go to the stronghold number 3, and we are against All Life, and we're going to go with the second team. So as you can see, this one is exactly the same one that we saw before, with everything except that it's not Lily, it's Erlis as the healer. And this one has been a pretty tricky one, as you can see that I did got destroyed, like totally destroyed with my grots, and they are still level 9. But we got a win from Crane on this one, and it was a really smart strat, because the thing with Grot is that if he arrives too early, he's going to get destroyed by Velis and Ezareth. So what Crane did is that he went with the Pharaoh, because most of them have magic damage. So he went with the Pharaoh to take the damage, and you see he's taking nothing. Like, he's still alive, he has full power, full HP. And the main goal there was to bring then Mo and to keep him alive as long as taking his ultimate to kill Ezareth. And Ezareth is the main DPS on this strat. So as soon as Ezareth is done, you still have Velis. Velis is doing a good amount of damage, but not enough. So the strat is to start to pack up with the 2 tanks, bring the other 2 DPS, and then the doggies are going to go through that. One almost got killed, so he could have lost this one to get only 2 out of 3. But that's still a pretty good strat against this one, and he did win really well. So now we are going to finish the match with a player that we welcome really well. You know this player, and I'm really excited to see that he's now part of Dragonshire. It's Ron. You can see him on a lot of leaderboard. He's one of the strongest player you can find in the game. Ron has been with Mad, I would imagine, for a long time, but I'm really excited that he joined us, because he has been a really fun player to play with. So welcome again, Ron. And we're going to go against the team number 1. So as you can see, we have a pretty strong team there with AI, Lady Alexandra, Yovar, Dio-chan, and Brokir. So no healer properly, like you have Dio-chan as a healer, but not that much. And that's a pretty strong defense. As you can see, because you don't have proper healer, Ron went with the fire tank, as I would probably have done, but he also went with the rats. That is a pretty fun strat. Again, you need the 2 new champions for that. Ron is not really lucky with demons. He got these 2, but not the rest. So, as you can see there, he's going to start with the fire tank. The fire tank are level 8, so they are pretty tanky. Not that much, because they are going to get killed. But as you can see, with 2 fire tanks, with enough tankiness, he was able to kill the Yovar and the Lady Alexandra. From there, it's a pretty easy win, because the only thing that's remained is AI, that's doing some eyes, but that's not crazy, and Dio-chan, that's doing nothing, and the Brokir, that's right there. So that was a pretty easy swarm from there. So yeah, GG Ron to be on our team now, and that will be a fun match against Mad tomorrow. So yeah, that's kind of it. We still have some attacks. We still have 4 hours left. I think that's already done. I think we are not going to spend that much more time. We are the night of Thanksgiving. It's 9:20 p.m. for me. And I think I'm going to go to sleep right now so I can get ready against Mad tomorrow morning. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I tried to showcase a little bit more of the fire tanks and also strat that didn't work. So I hope you enjoy that kind of process and thought process. And yeah, I wish you a happy Thanksgiving again, and see you tomorrow. Enfin, see you in 2 days against Mad. Bye bye.